If you have been following the channel for a while, you probably remember a whole bunch of videos I've made about Gita. For a long time I was obsessed with her character and I couldn't really understand why. But now, after such a long time has passed since the actual ending of Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet and the hidden treasure of Area Zero, I believe that to be part of a much bigger problem. So hey, I'm not so ace trainer and this cannot happen again. Let's get into it. What led me to go down a rabbit hole of my own creation when it comes to not only Gita but the whole Paldean Elite Four was actually a problem that I started noticing in Gen 8 with Pokémon Sword and Pokémon Shield. There we were presented with Leon, the undefeated champion from the get-go, and he straight up took the role of the final boss. Then the whole game goes by and eventually we enter the Champions Cup, where we battle some of our rivals, Marnie, Hop and Bede, which was a great touch since everyone had the same goals in this game, but then we battled gym leaders. At the time, that did not and still doesn't feel like a big problem. That would be you not liking the video and subscribing to the channel, for example. But it did take away a little bit of the magic that we feel when we enter the climax of the game, the climax of the gym challenge. Still, like I said, it's Galar and they set up the big stadium feel pretty well and the music worked perfectly with it. But then, well, then there's Paldea. Just like in Galar, we are introduced to Gita very early into the game and they sell her as La Primera, the strongest trainer in the region. The final boss, just like Leon. As we play through the Victory Road path, we meet other people like Hassel, Rika and Poppy, and we even meet Larry as a gym leader, not knowing that he is actually a member of the Elite Four as well. So far, so good. It's always nice for these characters to be somewhat part of the story and not just show up out of the blue. Hassel is a teacher and you can get to know him better by just going to art classes, and the whole gym puzzle test for Larry's gym can teach us quite a bit about him. Rick and Poppy are kinda just there, but hey, you cannot have it all. But then we get to the ending and something very troubling happens. We earned all of our badges and we know that there's only one place left for us to go. The Pokémon League, a compass-shaped building, just like the compass present in all of their gloves. Such a mysterious group and their leader is the strongest of all of them, La Primera. Even Nemona keeps talking about her skills. We enter and interview. Sure, that's weird, but I guess we can do that. I mean, we're in an academy after all. Shortly after this we'll finally have our Elite Four experience and oh no. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Even going up there to battle Gita in a place where you can see so much of the Paldea region means nothing. Sure, we weren't expecting the battles to be hard, I mean it's modern Pokemon after all, but the whole experience was so lackluster. One of the key things that Pokemon always did since Gen 1 was how, even without knowing or ever meeting the Elite Four members, you could tell a lot about them by how their rooms looked, for example. You enter Chantal's room and yeah, you don't know straight up that she's a writer, but you do realize that she is somehow connected to books. As soon as you step foot inside Drasna's room, you know you're in for a pretty cool dragon battle. Even in OG Gen 4 and BDSP, where the rooms are frankly a bit boring, you have different ones with different colors that match the trainer's specialty typing. Here in Paldea, you have one single room and the Elite Four member just comes in, waits for you to talk to them, loses, and then goes to the loser's line and watches it happen again and again until you beat all four of them. This was a terrible experience and a terrible choice as well, at least in my opinion. It was only made worse by them being pretty easy battles. No one would care as much about that, like I said, they were not expecting hard battles, but now you have nothing to take away from the experience. You're not even the champion, you're a champion ranked trainer. Winning the Pokémon League usually meant you were the strongest trainer in the region. And here you're part of a rank, you're a name on a list, a number on a table. It doesn't help that Nemona right after you win it wants to battle you and then that battle is treated as the show that your battle with Gita should have been. Even Leon, as cliché as he was, became part of Sword and Shield's epic legendary moment. The game is about the passing of the torch from older to younger generations and Leon, still the unbeatable champion, fails at saving the Galar region, but he is there. Now, in Scarlet and Violet, the game is about finding your treasure and building your adventure. The Starfall Road leads you into uncovering the secrets behind Cassiopeia and Team Star through base raids that explore a brand new feature. The Path of Legends leads you to understand the lore of Terrassal more and more and is arguably the most important of all since it is the one that actually leads you into the Great Crater of Paldea. Victory Road, the one we're more used to, shows you all the gyms and all that, but the payoff is an empty warehouse-like place instead of the usual personalized rooms that we've come to know and love, followed by lackluster battles. And to add a bit more knuckly to the wound, well, you cannot rematch the league. You can battle Hassel and Gita in the Ace Academy tournament, and only much later in the Blueberry Academy can you actually battle all of them once more. I understand that there's a different goal in Paldea, that you have the way home to look forward to, but being the champion should be more than just a simple, boring test. Even the gym leaders and their gyms had personality. Why couldn't you add the same thing to the Pokemon League? This was the worst payoff possible, the reason why I always kept looking for more and more about the Pokemon League. There had to be something, right? There had to be something that made that blandness feel less bland. They drop hints all throughout the game that they know a lot about everything and that they are part of the exclusive club that can go down into the Great Crater of Paldea, but nothing really comes of it. I was so excited when I saw Gita entering the room in the final part of the Indigo Disc, only for her to be like, yeah, go down there and check what's up. Then she even admits going down there herself multiple times, but nothing happened again, and having business with the Unnovan League, but once more, nothing comes from that as well. It's a constant tease without a payoff. This is the reason you would find not only mine, but countless theories about the Paldean Pokemon League, and more specifically Gita. There was nothing about them that made us feel like we actually accomplished something. We simply beat 3 adults and 1 child inside a warehouse and then went up there to beat their boss, as she told us that we shone like a jewel and all that. Even her ace Pokemon, Glimora, is implied to have a connection to the biggest mystery that rules the whole game, and still, nothing comes of it. But none of this would matter if they didn't feel so out of place, so different from everything we had before in a very negative way. And it still feels like that, it still feels like something is missing, but we know there's not. And that's exactly what they cannot do in the future when it comes to Gen 10. I don't know if Gen 10 will keep the same open world approach, but I am betting it will. It is such a big step that going back would be a very strange thing. And so, with open world, there will very likely be a way to play the game without a set path again. This, of course, could end up with the same approach that Scarlet and Violet had, multiple stories, each with their own ending that leads into a bigger, more conclusive ending. With the setting for that game likely not being an academy or a sport-esque tournament, we need to actually have an Elite Four. Not rivals and gym leaders, not a warehouse with zero personality. We need to have what we've been used to, larger-than-life characters in rooms with designs and constructions that appear impossible. We need to remember the Elite Four for good reasons, not bad ones. If there's a mystery that needs to remain, as deep down I still like to believe that to be the case with Gita, make it so there's enough for the mystery, but not because we want there to be more in order to fill the void, but because an actual good story was created in order for that to be the case. And that is all I have for you today. The Elite Four in Paldea were treated in the worst way possible, and that cannot be done ever again. But what about you? Did you enjoy the Paldean Elite Four? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. Also, you can become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel. I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.